thank
Hello.
you all for joining. My name is Dave DeVito. I'm based here in Connecticut, just outside of New York City in Fairfield County, Connecticut. But I'm really excited about this event tonight because a little bit about me. I've been in the real estate business for about 8+ years, and I guess I do a lot of things, but I guess the core of what I try to focus on is really that transactional engineering, connector. People call me a real estate concierge. I'm a longtime wholesaler. I've done 100+ wholesale deals in my career. I'm a licensed realtor with Real Broker here. We're the fastest growing brokerages in the whole 50 states of the United States. I'm a private lender. I'm an investor of multifamilies and short-term rentals. And I also run one of the largest Facebook real estate groups here in Connecticut. We've just about to hit 11,000 members. And the name of my Facebook group is Connecticut Off Market Real Estate Deals and Funding. And I think that's a good segue to what we're going to talk about tonight, because there's two things that I really, get excited about. One is connecting people. And that's why I'm so thankful for all of you guys that have joined and responded to my invite tonight. And two, at the off market. I mean, not that I restrict myself to that. Being a licensed realtor, I definitely work on the MLS, but for all of you all in the room, I think we've got a good mix of licensed agents as well as wholesalers, investors, and also put that in the chat too. I know we were asking a lot of questions, but if you could put in not only where you're from, but what's your expertise, because the technology that Ten's going to introduce you to in a moment is really going to appeal to all three of those different things. But it's always good to see who we've got in the room so we can make this a little bit more interactive and customized. But getting back to what I mentioned a moment ago is connecting people and connecting the off market is a big aspect of it. And the other thing that I really am excited about this technology, I don't want to steal Ken's thunder, but the verified integrity of the business as well is really big. I think that we've all experienced at one time or another, whether you're a wholesaler seeing one of your deals stolen by a daisy chain, or a realtor or a wholesaler trying to sell a deal to a buyer that's not really a verified, really legitimate buyer. And that's one of the other things that tonight you'll learn that is really going to be solved. So, real quickly, I just wanted to, introduce Ken Singh, the founder and CEO of FlippBidd, the new technology that you'll be learning a little bit more about tonight. I'll give it to Ken in a moment, but I really was impressed by meeting Ken and learning about technology and really hearing that, that technology is really your background. You're a big time tech guy. I think 15+ years experience in technology, and a good close to 10 years in real estate technology specifically. And I was really impressed by the fact that you were really trying to find a solution for something. I mean, obviously there's thousands upon thousands of technologies out there in our great real estate business that we're all in, but I really, it really resonated with me that you're trying to fix a lot of problems. And not only that, but integrate it in a nice tight package of one go-to place for that solution. I know that I don't like to have like 100 apps downloaded on my phone. I like to try to really consolidate wherever I can. And that's the other aspect that I was excited to hear about. So I'll stop talking. I'll shut up right now and I'll kind of hand it off to you. So I'll let you kind of tell a little bit more about yourself and we'll get right into it.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave. I really appreciate it. By the way, what an amazing setup here today with the webinar. Dave and Patrick Yepes, hats off to them. They worked really hard to get an amazing group set up tonight, and they're just coming in one by one. So hello everyone. My name is Ken Singh, founder and CEO, as David mentioned. I have my right-hand man to my left, everything's reversed. Phil Augustin, the COO of FlippBidd, and Dave's absolutely right. So we, believe it or not, we've been working on this thing for a long time, like long time. Phil and I met a while back, and shortly after the whole, mortgage-backed securities financial debacle back in 2008, when the financial markets crashed, he was working, in for investment banks, and I was actually selling to investment banks. I was selling technology and software, and Bear Stearns. That was back then, if you can recall. I'm giving away my age, and I'm sure if this resonates with you, it's you're gonna give away your age as well. So my clients being investment banks, Lehman Brothers, and some others we were selling software to, were filing Chapter 11 stuff, and unfortunately they downsized, and we had to figure something out really quick. And this is the part that usually Phil tells, and I'll let him introduce himself in a second when he comes back. He just stepped away. But Dave's absolutely right. I mean, we really put a lot of thought behind this thing. And he's right. There's, so many different what we call prop tech applications out there, property technologies, right? That apply to both commercial real estate as well as residential. And there's a lot of things you guys can pick from that assist with CRM and lead generation and lead nurturing. And there's a lot of applications out there that can easily connect you to, MLS, public records, data warehouses somewhere in the cloud. There's a ton of them that sell this data. But keep in mind, a lot of the time that when people talk about data nowadays, 2024, that data is very cheap. Like, a lot of people don't tell you that. That data comes very, very inexpensively, right? So, as a lot of companies out there are looking to monetize on their licenses or their user base or whatever it is, trying to sell you data, that data they buy once, they sell it a million times, right? And it's not like it's the late 1990s or early 2000s where it was like, where did you find this information? Like, it's readily available. It's readily available. But what we created is something that was very forward facing, forward thinking, and it was pioneering because, as Dave mentioned, we packaged this in a very vertically integrated way where we had to really put our brains behind this thing, Phil and I. And Phil, before I carry on, say hello, man, because I was introducing you, stepped away.
Yeah, no, sorry about that. I had to get some water. So my name is Phil Augustin. Ken and I have actually been friends for 20 years. We met while I was in Bear Stearns. He was selling software to Bear, and his girlfriend at the time was my broker on the credit derivatives trading desk. So that's how we became friends. And long story short, we did some flips back in the day, and I had an appetite for it, but then he told me the concept of FlippBidd. I didn't know what it was going to look like, but I was definitely all in. Plus, I trust Ken with his vision. I trusted Ken with his vision, and up until 2 years ago, we had a working beta on the App Store in Google Play. We've learned a lot from that. And then fast forward to today, or at least 2 months ago, we rolled out our go-to-market version. And, right now, I believe that I think we're crushing it right now. I mean, no one in the market's doing it like we are in terms of how we present data, the three buckets, and Ken will get into that. It's always about property research and data, acquisition and disposition, right? So with those three magic words, I'll pass that on to Ken.
Yeah, I think Phil's being a little shy about this. Yes, we've known each other for 20 years, guys, but when he's like, I'm all in, I think he wanted to kill me about 5 years ago. He's like, what's happening? Why hasn't this thing taken off yet? But he's being real coy about it. But it's okay, Phil. Listen, I love you, man, and we're making it because of these amazing people out there in our network and leaders like Dave DeVito. I see Charlene there, some other familiar faces. Hi, guys, and Patrick Yepes. Hats off to him. But as I was mentioning, so fast forward 8 years later, this is our third iteration, right? It's not like we thought about this last year and we're like, yeah, everybody use our application. It's really cool. Like, it wasn't about that. It was about what's going to differentiate us from everybody else. And and I still remember this, and I mentioned this on a lot of webinars. There was a buddy of ours that works for a big company named Altisource, right? And I'm sure if some of you guys have heard of Hubzu, that's maybe a familiar name in your vocabulary, and real estate investments. Altosaurus is the parent company of Hubzu. So we have some great context, and he's like, Ken, what you're building, what you and Phil are building is amazing. But if for you guys out there, and there's nothing against millennials and Gen Zers, and you guys are crushing it right now, right? Like the baby boomers are on their way out. Like you guys are going to control this market. And he told me, Ken, they can't press a button and make magic happen. They don't want to use it. Simple. They don't want to use it, right? Like you got to make something really magical happen. And I see Joey Smith shaking his head because this is resonating with him. So he's like, if you don't press a button and make something happen, they don't want to use it. And then we were like, really? Is that true? And so we started asking some of our colleagues that are big players in the industry, major influencers, is like, what are you teaching your students, and what are they using, and how often do they use it? And across the boards, it was like, I'm not going to mention names because it's probably going to be cut and split up and put on TikTok and YouTube, and I'm going to get in trouble if I mention names, but a lot of the same companies came up that were the CRMs and that were like the lead generation companies. They're like, Ken, you know what? They bought it. They spent $200, $300, $400, $500. They have a couple of licenses, and they put it aside. It's collecting dust, and they're just spending money because they need something that's going to keep them connected. So we're like, we got this. So we created the final version of FlippBidd, which finally launched middle of May. We bug tested, fine-tuned a couple of things because, every time you roll out a software, it's still a little bug testing needed. But in the last 2 months, with the help of Patrick and my COO and our developers and our teams, right, we've had about 1,600 downloads in 2 months. And that's substantial for a no-name company, right? We're like nobody. Like my fiance is out there with my 1-year-old and 7-year-old daughter watching cartoons while I'm sitting here in the office. But we're like average people. We're like, we're gonna do something really cool for this industry. Watch, we're gonna do it. So we did. And guess what? It resonated. It captivated an audience where they were like, wait a minute, what are you doing? I have a deal. I can just upload it. How much do you charge? And we were like, nothing. No points, no commissions, no fees. No, just click the sell my deal button, upload it. Okay, so you're charging the buyer, right? And I said, no, we're not charging the buyer. Well, how do you make money? This doesn't make sense. There's some kind of Ponzi scheme happening, right? I said, no, it's a SaaS application. It's software as a service, and we provide all the tools for you guys to be able to do the 3 buckets that Phil mentioned: acquisitions, dispositions, property research and data in a very seamless fashion. And just so we do have some tricks up our sleeve so you guys don't get FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. When people are uploading properties and viewing your properties and they're going under contract, you are getting contacted, including 600 or 700 people now that are registered in real time. Dave's got the application. So Dave, I know you see like notifications popping up every so often when deals pop up. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yep.
You're seeing it.
So
okay.
I see it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Let me ask you guys over there, and don't be shy. How many of you, raise your hand if you got the screen up, or just put me in the chat. How many guys do you have the application downloaded as of right now? 1, 2. Only saw 2. Everyone's kind of hidden. Yeah. So there you go, Carolyn. Okay, Doug. Awesome. How many of you guys downloaded it over the last few days and started getting some notifications? And just unmute yourself and like, I did. I'm getting them. We're going to keep this interactive. I told you, we're going to keep it fun. Doug says, okay. So guess what? I believe at some point, because we just started, you or your significant others are going to get sick and tired of seeing these notifications. So we are working on the notifications you could turn off at any time through your settings, but we're adding additional notification filters such as sale types. Like, I only want to know about subject to deals, or I only want to know about wholesale deals. I only want to know about REOs. I only want to know about short sales. So we're working on that. So what you're seeing today, and we will show you what we have online, but we're going to give you a real quick sneak peek if we have some time at the end of the if you stick around long enough, by the way. That's the deal. I'm going to show you what we're working on and rolling out in September, which is going to blow your mind. So with that said, Dave, I'll pass it on to you for questions. You want to keep this interactive, I'll follow your lead.
Yeah. So who on here is a realtor? Sam. So Sam, tell me, what I'll pick on you a little bit. So and I'm a realtor, obviously, we're real together. But a lot of times trying to get, those verified buyers, right? That's always a challenge. You and I have spoken about this before, but talk to me about the difficulty given, as licensed individuals, what the MLS has, but whenever you've got those difficult sellers that don't allow us to put on the MLS, how tell us about how this can really help your ability to service those seller clients of yours that don't allow you that ability to MLS list.
Um, with regards to the app, is that what you're referring to, Dave?
Yeah. Like, so what are you doing? What are some
Just froze up for a second.
Is that me or is that you guys?
I think that maybe Dave, you froze up for 1 second. You mind repeating?
Oh, I apologize. No, I was just asking. I'm not sure where I cut off about, my point is about the challenge it is to kind of market a property when the sellers allow you to put it on the MLS. So you got to find out those different platforms of finding those buyers when the seller doesn't allow us to market on market, if you will.
Right. A bunch of different Facebook groups.
Yep. So most of my clients, they want me to actually market on MLS, but for those, that don't want me to hold those or put those on MLS, we would kind of like do like Facebook, Instagram, just like different social media platforms we would market that on.
So there's two things I just want to touch on that real quick. And pleasure to meet you, Sam. How are you? So
Nice to meet you,
things
Ken.
about that. Two things about that. Dave, we are adding a subtype or a sale type for listed property. It'll open up your MLS number and you can punch it in. So that's one.
That's great.
Two, realtors also get off-market private deals. They call them pocket listings, they call them other things, right?
Yep.
Luckily enough for us, this industry on the private market is still unregulated to the point where no one can really stop you from marketing that property. That's why we have so many, posts on social media platforms. We have them on other technologies and other platforms, right? But one thing that is important is that we allow individuals like yourself that are licensed brokers, licensed agents, right, that get these pocket listings. And I'll give you an example. Like, no one's stopping you guys, just like no one's stopping my guys, a couple of them in New York, from going to the auction houses, right? Right. They got their they can go ahead and go, bid on properties and get those assignable contracts for themselves. Am I correct? They can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But guess what? Maybe they don't want to hold on to the property. They want to assign the contract. Where are they going to post it? Zillow? They're going to post it on Trulia, Redfin. If it's a commercial deal, we're going to post it on LoopNet. No, they're not going to do that. And how are they going to find all of these investors that are outside their pool or their circle or network that are immediate to them? You don't know if you have a buyer for your property somewhere across state lines somewhere, right? Because you might, right? The world's a big place, but the trick is, how do you get to them and how do they find your deal the fastest way possible? And that's the problem. That's the problem we're finding the solution for, and I believe we have.
Yeah, that's a great point, Ken. And turning it from the flip side, not just from the seller's perspective, when we're representing sellers, but for those buyer agents out there, or for those investors that are looking for those off-market legitimate deals, with inventory so thin, in this world that we're living in right now. This is the other thing that I'm excited about with the evolution of your product. So if you could talk a little bit about that, Ken, about really trying to find those great deals when it's tough to see it, on the MLS and transparently.
Yeah, let's talk about that. And by the way, guys, like I said, we're gonna keep some of the great fun stuff for last. I'm going to do the demo, and I know everyone's waiting for it and look at it. And let me show you how to work this thing and all the new features. But to answer Dave's question, you have the ability to present your offering to the rest of our community. It is a community-based application powered by you guys. You're not sending us deals. And by the way, if I showed you my spam folder, flippit@gmail.com, I have about 15,000 emails from wholesalers over the last 3 years. Each of those emails are just somebody that found my email address on a social media site or somewhere on somewhere on the internet and said, I'm going to put you on my buyers list. You know why? Because that's going to increase my odds of selling my property. Absolutely not true, because it's going to spam. Okay, one. Two, half of those emails that person probably has a giant list that makes them feel good. And yes, does it work? It does work, right? But the whole point is doing less work and getting more results is the answer, right? Right. So if you're just creating a giant and a leads list, at some point you're going to need technology to filter those lists. Then you're going to need to be able to send those campaigns out, like the constant contacts, the MailChimps, right? This way, what you're doing is our notifications don't end up in spam. Our notifications end up on your screen, just like if you were to get a Gmail notification, if you were about to get a Facebook notification, just like if you get a WhatsApp notification. So you have the ability to dispose of a property, one, to everyone in our network, unless they have their notifications off.
And the other thing, Ken, if you could talk a little bit about this, I love, love, love the fact that you guys are verifying your audience. How many times do we, encounter a buyer that is just not credible? So talk about that. That, in my opinion, is a huge, huge service that you're not going to get on the Instagrams and the Facebooks.
Yeah, so we're lucky enough that so many people have really rallied behind this technology. Some of those names, Dave DeVito, the name you won, right? We have the Bryce McKinleys out west in Texas, right? We have down to Dan Satofsky, right? He's in Delaware, right? These are some big names. They've written books, they're leaders in their communities, and they said, look, I would love to be a verified investor. Will we verify those guys? Probably not, because they have like 20 years of experience and we know they're real investors. But when people sign up on the application and they request a verified investor license, is what we call it, there's certain features and functions which we'll get into that allow you to give you the extra perks of the application. That application is for free, but we have to vet you. You can't just sign up on App Store and Google Play and get a verified investor license. You have to go through a vetting process through like screen 1 to screen 4, something similar to what like a lender would go through in order to pre-approve you. Okay, it's similar, right? Some of those information, your personal information, who you're referred by, capital on hand, attorney information if you have one, right? And what kind of deals you're interested in, and most importantly, your track record. We are now working on a step 2, Dave. Once you get verified, the step 2, which is coming out by the end of the year, we're trying to work out the e-signature automated document that gets sent out once they hit the submit button. They have to verify with their signature what they're telling is the truth. After our AI kicks in and Phil's handling all of his work on the back end to vet you guys, he'll activate you in like 24 hours. We believe what you're saying. We'll verify everything, right? But we have to take the next step, and which is going to be, for any reason you're found lying or you're telling inaccurate information because you signed on the dotted lines, we will terminate your account. But that's up to you. Like, don't bite the hand that feeds you, because we're building something for you guys. There's no reason to lie. But if you're not a verified investor, we have enough tools to help you get there and become a verified investor.
Yeah, that's a big one. Ken, why don't you talk a little bit? We talked a little bit about the community and everything, but I know that you're also building in the ability to communicate, dialers, perhaps skip tracing, to kind of get in the front end. So we could talk a little bit about those tools that you need to kind of go out there in step 1 of finding those deals.
Yeah, so they're not dialers, but Dave is very, very close. We're a technology company, so we want to make this as easy as possible for you. Once you find the deal on the application, which has been uploaded by one of your peers and colleagues, right? And you click on it, one, they're going to get notified that you're looking at the property. Two, you're going to look at all the data because it's already been pulled already, right? When they uploaded the property. So you got all the data, the mortgage information, the ownership information, the property information, MLS information to see if it's listed or not, foreclosure information, and so on. But not only that, there's two magical buttons next to the seller's information. One's a chat button and one's a message button, and one is a call button. And what do you think you need to do in order to get in touch with that person? Who wants to guess?
Just hit a button.
Hit the button, call them.
Just
So
hit the button.
it's not a dialer. Your phone activates and say, do you want to call 516 blah 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 800 whatever it is? You're gonna say, yeah, you dial and your phone rings out and another person's side picks up. And we're just connecting you two. And the messaging works similar to your text. Same thing. You message them, they get notified, they message you, you get notified, and you're creating opportunity. That's it, directly and seamlessly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a huge one. I know that's a big struggle for a lot of us, wholesalers, agents, what have you, trying to connect when we're making our calls every day, right? Right, Joey? So Joey, I'm gonna call it Joey. He just graduated high school. He is diving right in and he's gonna be a rock star. So Joey, I know you're learning about all these kind of tools and everything. So any questions for Ken in your early journey?
Nothing right now, man. I'm just listening. I joined the app. I just downloaded it right now, so I'm just here to learn what you guys have to offer and utilize the tools. I like how you're just bringing everybody together, and it makes on my end the disposition side so much easier. If I have a deal that I might not have a buyer for on hand, just using that app, and I see, okay, this is a vetted buyer that's already vetted and verified. This could help me on the disposition side. So I'm just here to learn and understand what you guys have to offer, and so far I'm liking it, man.
Awesome, Joey. Congratulations, by the way, and welcome
Thank
to the
you.
dark side.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Let's dive right in. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what else, Dave? Come on, keep it. You got some great questions. I mean, I'm sure people want to hear more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why don't you talk about a little bit, do you actually collect, I know that some people hate this term. I'm not one of them. I actually value the whole buy box. Are you guys currently or have plans to have buyers actually put in exactly their kind of criteria? Because, we all love in wholesaling land that 70% of ARV minus repairs. But what I tell people all the time is that every buyer is different. Sometimes buyers don't need that. And you got to really know that. So what are you doing, Ken, with the technology to really help support that information?
So great question. We actually have that currently. So the way you activate your buy box, which we call Find My Deal, it's a little gray house icon under your profile page. The reason why we don't leave this, let this kind of leave this feature to just everybody, it's really because, and I hope you guys can understand this, that if 600 people in 2-month period started utilizing this feature, your phones would be going crazy, right? I'm looking for a single family, I'm looking for a multifamily, I'm looking for a commercial, but the real buyers, the real verified investors that we activate licenses for, if they are actually taking the time and putting in a submission, right, for what they're looking for through our Find My Deal feature, which is active now, they can put in what kind of sale type they're looking for, right? The asset type, sale type, price point, and in which state. When they click on that and submit that button, and by the way, we will test that out today in a little bit, everybody will get notified, right? You'll get notified. And what happens in turn is, first of all, I didn't create, or Phil and I didn't create this large investor list, right? What we did was we gave a solution to a real request that may be coming from a vetted investor, but we're letting everybody know. Just because it's a very, very vetted investor doesn't mean someone out there may or may not have the deal, and we can't discriminate. So everybody will get notified, but that also gives you an understanding of how active investors are on the platform. So it kind of works as a double notification of, are people out there actually looking? Yes, they are. I just got notified. And who is looking and where are they looking? Where are they looking and what are they looking for? That notification comes in real time as well. What to everybody in our network, in our community.
That's great. That's great. Because I mean, I know that's really a big tool that I appreciate, because I'll market to my sellers that way. If I know that a buyer's got that buy box, they call that reverse wholesaling, and you can go out there and approach those off market, whether it be through a direct mail campaign or door knocking or whatever else. Find the kinds of assets that those buyers are actively looking to buy, and you could really make it more of a personalized, marketing piece to those prospective sellers. So that's why, again, I appreciate when I learn, buy boxes, all that. So, no, that's great. So in the same vein of verification, talk, Ken, about, one of the biggest evils in the business, the D word, daisy chaining. That's one of the things I've had, in all the years I've been doing. I've had multiple situations where I've caught other, wholesalers putting out my deals that I have under contract as their own, and they're marking it up or claiming to be their own. And I'm on many buyers lists because I'm an investor and I buy as well. One of the first things that I do whenever I get a deal put in front of me that's intriguing to me is I do a search of that address in my inbox. More often than not, I'll
Oh, he's frozen again.
wholesalers or agents. So talk to me about how you guys are combating that right now.
Yeah, so within the application, guys, there are a couple of checks and balances that we have in play. Right. So one, every user out there, whether you're on the free version or you're going to be on the, the next version that's going to come out, you have the opportunity to flag deals. Now, this is more so I think a more of I guess how can I put it? More of a responsibility of the person who holds the deal to not to market it out to a tremendous amount of people, because you don't know who's going to remarket your application. There's no way for us to figure out your deal. For us to vet that deal, imagine us vetting thousands of deals every day just to make sure if they're the legitimate seller. It's more so like I said, our community of users saying, wait a minute, that's my deal. Someone posted it. You have the ability to report that flag that content, and we'll take it down temporarily and contact that individual. Also, if they are violating any state, federal, local laws, we will also flag that content and put a temporary suspension on their account. But with that said, like, we can't, and I'll give you a prime example. So remember those 18,000 emails that I have? Yes. So we have relationships with some major wholesalers out there, right? And I upload those deals, and we now allow voice notes when we sell the deals. Every single time, like clockwork, when I'm leaving a voicemail, I always say, brought to us by our friend so-and-so from this wholesale company. Connect with us on FlippBidd. We'll be more than happy to give you the phone number and email and help you connect them directly. They may not be uploading the deals, and I uploaded it, right? I didn't create a date. It's not really considered a daisy chain unless I'm benefiting from it, right? In some sort of monetary. But if I'm just marketing it for them for free, I don't think they're going to care so much. And just this week alone, I've had 5 different individuals contact me, and you know what I did? I saved those texts and snapshots for later when I need to show them, and they were very happy to hear that we just connected. We just provided them the phone number and email and the contact for that listing.
That's great.
5
Awesome.
five different buyers.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I think the time is now. I want to let's kind of open up the curtain, Ken. Let's see the engine.
All right. So listen, guys, I know you have a ton of questions, and we'll just hold it off. Right after I'm done with this demo, I'm gonna go right into it. So I'm going to share my screen. And while I'm sharing my screen, just getting set up, is going to take me about 60 seconds to share my my phone with you guys. While I'm doing this, please do me a favor. For those of you guys who have not downloaded this application, take your smartphone, right, and scan that QR code and play along with us. Because why? Because we're going to actually go ahead and dispo a deal, and I'm going to take a property from one of you guys out there. We're going to upload it, and then we're also going to mark it under contract, and we're going to do some fun stuff with it. I want to know how many of you guys are getting notified that downloaded this application. By the way, no credit card required, no skin off your back. Feel free to download it and delete it after you're done. That's your phones. That's your prerogative. But I guarantee you might want to hold on to it, because you'll be notified for the rest of your life with off-market deals without even upgrading to your license. Just for having the application installed in your phones, you'll get notifications of off-market private deals from your peers indefinitely. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up, Dave. We'll take 30 seconds, and we'll let whoever needs to download the application download it, and I'll share my screen here.
Great stuff.
Awesome. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to cover some of your face here, or I can just move it over, Dave. There you go. You're the host.
Oh
So
no, I think they'd appreciate you covering my face, Ken. That's a great service that you're adding by covering my face.
No, you're the host. I'm more than happy to cover my face. I'm right here. I'm speaking. I'm good. So guys, download the app. So while I'm playing around with this, I might take some questions in and out. So we'll keep it interactive. So here with here we are with the application. This is FlippBidd. This is live on App Store and Google Play. I'm using iOS. I'm using Apple. And so Android has Google Maps. Apple runs on Apple Maps. I love Apple Maps. It runs a little slower when it has a tremendous amount of data in their respective market. I'll give you an example. So if I take you guys to New York, my backyard here, I could do fun stuff with Apple Maps, but it loads a little slower because I have a tremendous amount of deals, and my Wi-Fi over here, I'm very far away. But you see what I'm doing here? You can't do this with Google Maps, but Google Maps flies like a rocket, super quick. So all I'm doing is just using my thumbs to scroll up and down and just maneuver around on the screen. So it's loading a little slow, but it's you can see, like, in the distant horizon in our backyard, New York, that's Brooklyn, going into Queens, going into Long Island. There's a ton of properties for sale. As Dave mentioned, how do we stop the daisy chains from happening? How do we deal with the principals and the buyers instead of the middlemen who find the buyers? Well, one of the ways to do it is, you see these little lavender blue icons are deals that have been uploaded from a contract holder that only wants to deal with a verified investor. Now, these blue deals, because we don't want to, we don't want to, have people be, bottlenecked into just be, have an application be utilized only by contract holders. These are people that are uploading deals, whether it's theirs or not. They are uploading it. I apologize here. Okay, I actually clicked on one of my verified investors here. So these deals are readily available, but there are deals that people don't care if you're a principal of the corporation that's looking to buy your deal. All they care about is, hey, you have a deal. I want to take a look at it. I might be able to get you a buyer, and they're okay with that. And you can upload it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some basic features and functionalities of this application. This is right now our assistant. It's Flip for now. We are going to be rolling out Orion, and for those of you who stick around till the end, I'm going to show you what's coming out in September. Amazing technology. By the way, Dave hasn't even seen it, so I know he's excited to see this. So let's move on with the assistant. So the assistant for now will help you navigate maps. It's going to do a heck of a lot more by September. Hey, Flip, take me to Phoenix, Arizona.
Finding.
It's running a little slow here.
I think it's just your Wi-Fi that's.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi is a little slow, but you know what? I could always move a little closer. That always happens around evening time. Everyone's sucking up my energy. Not a problem. Okay. Give it 1 second here. All right, let me just restart it. 1 second, guys. I apologize. I think it just bogged down the system here. Okay, we'll go back to the application. Sorry about that, guys. Let me just give me 1 second. I think it's just eating up a lot of Wi-Fi. There it goes. It's really, really slow. There it goes. Hey, Flip, take me to Phoenix, Arizona.
Finding.
Okay, there you go. Working a lot better over here. So now that we're in Phoenix, Arizona, your assistant can take you and help you navigate from town to town. Now that you're in downtown Phoenix, we'll give you a little, quick view of what downtown looks like. I mean, I love the maps on Apple. They're really slick. Yes, all these buildings you probably can't, help with do acquisition dispositions are, but we are adding a commercial component to this next year where the same technology will work with retail, office, industrial, um, as well as land, and warehousing. I think it's like its own asset type. But let's say you're in Phoenix, Arizona, and I don't have a property in mind, but let's say you're a wholesaler and you got something right outside in Arizona that you want to dispose of. We have this thing, and I don't know if you can recall when I mentioned that a buddy of mine said, if you can't click a button and make magic happen, no one wants to use it. But now you can click your finger, you can put your finger on any one of these properties, like this one over here with the brown roof. Click on it. You could do this nationally, by the way, right? Request data. And there we go. We got some data. Wasn't able to pull beds and baths for this particular property, but it's got the square footage. And there you go. Within seconds, you got property information, building square foot, lot square foot, sales comps, ARV average, high, and low, which is important, right? We don't want to discriminate and say, listen, we're just going to take the high, the ARV, and make an educated decision based on that. We're going to give you the comps. Comps are super important, and they're there. And that's why we like to say you could pull comps on the fly, because we literally did it on the fly. Whether you're in your car waiting for a hot date or you're driving for dollars, right? Maybe maybe you're trying to do multiple things. Drinking your coffee in the morning and just want to just do some quick research. You can do that. You can do that on the fly. Mortgage data. Here we go. Looks like a Sally Dickman with a mailing address which is in Phoenix, Arizona. Is it the same address? Yes. So she lives there, and that's her mailing address. Available equity. She's got a ton of equity in here, 822,000. She's in good standings, no judgment amounts, no auction dates, no auction addresses. By the way, it does work. We have a ton in Brooklyn. I'll show you what that looks like. MLS history, so it's not listed, right? But the great thing about this application is you really don't have to go anywhere to contact Sally if you wanted to make a deal. We have an pre-built skip tracing functionality where every time you visit, meaning virtually visit a property, just as like I did right now, shows up in your My Visits. So when you go to My Visits, how do you get there? You click on My Profile, you click on My Visits, and every property you visited on the application shows up here. The ones you've skip traced already are on the top. The ones you visited recently come on the bottom. You could go ahead and select all, skip trace all of them, and then export it out to your registered email. Or for now, you could click just one, because I want to make a deal with Sally. Hit the skip trace button right here, hit OK, and then it's going to end up on the top of your list, because the application likes to look at it like that's the top of your priority because the most recent. Now we're going to go ahead and just click on the property, and let's look at what the skip trace information looks like. So we'll click on that. We only got one landline. Usually we get 4 landlines. I'm sorry, 4 phone numbers, and we get up to 4 emails. Sometimes emails aren't readily available, but even if you get 4 phone numbers, you could click on each and every one of them. We'll test it out with another property. So here's the landline. All I'm doing is just clicking on that, and your phone dials out, and hopefully that connects to Sally. So you can go ahead and do that over and over with multiple searches on those properties. I know a friend of ours, you may have heard of him, Matt Marinoff, who utilizes this application religiously on a daily basis. They call him like the short sale king up here in the Northeast, and he utilizes this by simply driving to the respective location that he's looking for. He's already got the data, and he sits in his car and makes a phone call, see if if you can get a. And he actually got a deal in a very ritzy area. I think it was like Alpine, New Jersey, and he got picked up well, he's about to pick up a deal for I think $1.5 million. Like they're in debt, but he wants to do a short sale for them. That property's worth like $4 million. It's a if anybody knows about that area, I just found out about it. It's a very well-to-do area, but he uses it religiously. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick somebody, Dave, it's okay, from someone in the group, and I want somebody to give me an address that they want me to search for instead of me navigating, because I could do this all day long. A property that maybe came across your desk, something that you guys were searching for, something you were looking to dispose of. Don't worry, I will upload it, but I promise I will delete it right after.
Looks like by the captions, Ken, that Doug Williams uploaded a deal. Phil, did I see that in the chat, Phil?
Yes.
Oh, is that Doug Williams? Doug, did you just sign up not too long ago? I saw your name come across one of my emails.
So I actually downloaded it, I think about a week or so ago, and I've uploaded one deal since then, and I just uploaded another one. And actually I got your email about going pro and was looking at doing that too.
Amazing. Would you mind where is your property?
I was actually just trying to look on my list. I've got an address here in Kenosha for you. 6205 32nd Avenue.
All right. Is that the one you uploaded?
No, it's a different one.
Oh, I wanted to ask the one you uploaded. So
the one that we just uploaded, 3619 21st Street in Racine.
3916. What street? I'm sorry?
21st.
21st Street. Okay. 21st Street.
And I already have a piece of feedback for you.
Awesome. And what town was that, if you don't mind me asking again?
It's Racine.
Okay, it's gonna be tricky. RACI.
There you go.
Wisconsin. There you go.
Pops up there.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and search that. Let's assume you guys are, looking around in Wisconsin, but here you go, Doug. I see your property here. I'm gonna go ahead and view it. You're probably gonna get a notification on viewing it.
Yep.
There you go. Okay. Now guess what? Doug's got a deal. He put $0 on it, so I'll take that, Doug. I'll take it for $0.
Well, when I went to go try and edit it, it wouldn't let me edit it now.
All right. So the way you got to edit it is you got to go to your profile. You got to go to My Uploads. You got to go on the property you uploaded. These three little buttons allow you to edit the property. There you go.
See, but then it comes up like the property address is blank when I do that.
Okay, we'll work on that. So that shouldn't be happening, but I've tested this. But for now, let's work on it offline, and it should be working. But I'll upload another property and we'll test it out, see if that works. But let's look at Doug's property for a second. So how much are you looking to get for this property, Doug? It's a single family residence. It's 4 beds, 1 bath, 1,464 square feet in Racine, Wisconsin.
Trying to get 150 out of it.
150 out of it. Well, let's see if it makes sense, right? Property information. We're going to look at ARV 150. Okay, not bad. I mean, there are some high comps in here. Here's some mortgage data, right? It's not a foreclosure. There's no judgment amount. So let's assume I'm a buyer for Wisconsin. Again, I'm going to ask this question. What do we do if I need to contact Doug? What button do we press? Or what one of the two buttons we press? Anyone?
Message or call.
That's right. That's right.
There you go.
Doug, I'm going to go ahead and message you. Doug, awesome deal. Do you have the contract? Right? You're probably going to get a message on your end, Doug. Correct?
I've actually already messaged him when I saw the notification.
Ah, okay. So he's gonna get a message, and if Doug's nice enough, he'll probably message me back. But as far as connecting with each other, that's all it is. And you know what? If Doug is gonna be a pain in the butt, and I really like this deal, he's not gonna reply. I'm just gonna hit the call button, and hopefully you pick up.
Oh boy.
Hello.
Doug, we got you. Amazing property. You're on camera, by the way. No, just thanks so much.
Nice.
See you online. Thank you. So that's all it is, guys. So look, if we haven't shown you the power of the application yet, let me show you how quick it is to upload a deal. Oh, wait, I got a message. So I got a little one. Here's my connections. And there's Doug. Yes, we can do an assignment. And that's it. Communicate with each other, guys. We're not going to get involved in your transaction. We are here to give you the right tools to create opportunities with each other through our communities, right? Because networking is the heart of real estate. We know that. We just wanted to go ahead and like open up just more opportunity for you guys. And the only way we could do that is if we are completely hands off when it comes to your transaction. Who are we to tell you which title company to use? Who are we to tell you which a lender to use? We can suggest them, and we're integrating pro services. We kind of gave one of the secrets away, which I'll show you, but it's really up to you guys to speak to each other, network with each other, get to know each other, vet each other, which is very important, right? But we're giving you the practical tools you need to connect. So that was a little bit of acquisitions with Doug's property. Thank you so much, Doug. I'm gonna go ahead and upload a property for someone else. So I mean, Doug, if you wanna chime in, or if anybody else wants to give me a property, I'll be more than happy to upload it.
Hey, Caroline says she's got one in Chicago. Can I share? I'm going to share that in the chat with everyone. Could you do that one?
Absolutely. Thanks, Caroline.
It's right there, 9132 South Ellis Ave. And that's in Chicago, Illinois.
Here we go. The first one. Thank you so much. All right. So here we go. So we're at Ellis Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. We're going to request the data. We're going to view a property. Now, keep this in mind while you guys are timing this, because you're going to be like, okay, this guy's going to show me how to upload a property in 15 to 20 seconds. I'm starting my clock. I'm also teaching you guys how to do this. So I'm assuming you guys have pictures. But for those of you that don't have pictures, you see this big street view picture here? That's clickable. You could click on that. You could walk around the neighborhood to make sure that you're at the right location, right? So I'm going to assume that I'm at the right location. Let's say it's one of these properties. It looks like it was probably the one before this, ahead of this. Like one of these here, it seemed like. So let's say that this is the property for sale and you're at your property, okay? For argument's sake. All you have to do, because every single phone out there lets you crop pictures. You could take a screenshot and crop it. Take the screenshot. If you don't have a picture of your property, crop it, click on the done button, hit save photos, go back, hit the back button right there. Okay. Now, who wants to guess how you sell your deal? What button do you press to sell your deal?
The sell my deal button.
Give this guy 7 days for free, Phil. Okay, so and graduating. Give him a 7-day additional license. That's absolutely right, Joey. I appreciate that. It's that easy. Like, you don't have to sell your deal, but maybe you're at a point you're like, I got the deal, I got the contract, I have FlippBidd, I want to dispose of it. These guys are like, they're expanding quickly. There may be an investor out there. So now you can start the clock. Hit the sell my deal button. I'm going to go ahead and attach my Google Drive link. I'm going to give it the okay. Here's my Google Drive. Let's say that one of these files are for the ones you want to show, JPEGs and MP4. So you got your videos and pictures. You want to sell it for, I don't know, let's say 225. I didn't check the comps, right? And is it a contract assignment, REO, note, short sale, straight deal, subject to wholesale? Let's say it's an assignment. Here's my picture. You'll probably have a ton of them because you're the seller. I'm going to leave a voice note. Hi, I have an amazing property in Chicago, Illinois. I'm asking for 225. Comps go for about 350. Would like to sell it ASAP. It is an assignable contract. I am the contract holder. Connect with me on FlippBidd for more information. Thank you. Hi, I have an amazing property in Chicago, Illinois. I'm asking for. I hate hearing my own voice, so we're not going to play the whole thing. But that's the voice note that you could play for everybody in the community when they view your property. Now, again, going back to Dave's question, you could sell it to the entire network, which means I don't care if you're a buyer, a seller, a vetted investor, or a newbie. You're a buyer's broker, you're a buyer's agent. I don't care who you are. Get me a buyer. You can sell to the entire community or to a verified investor. But if you click on verified investor, I hold a contract of sale automatically gets checked off. You cannot uncheck that if you're selling to our verified investor. So for now, we're going to uncheck that and just go, I want to sell it to the entire network. Here, it's optional. Okay. So let's say I do hold a contract sale. Once you hit the upload property button, yes, I acknowledge and agree to all state, federal, and local real estate law. I've been a good boy. It is my contract. And by the way, Patrick, please tell the young lady I will delete this right away.
Will do.
On top of FlippBidd's terms and conditions, right? So if you don't know what they are, I suggest you look at them. Once I hit the OK button, the property, despite the fact that I was training everyone how to upload this, really should not take more than 15, 20 seconds. Property's uploaded with the voice note, with the property information. The documents and folders are right here. Here's the Google Drive link for all the pictures and videos, right? Here you go. Look at that. Guess what? I uploaded a property in Chicago, and now I'm viewing it on FlippBidd. Why am I viewing it on FlippBidd? Because you saved it on your Google Drive. Water here. Obviously, this is not a Chicago property, but how amazing is that? When you have an investor that wants to look at your property, first question that should come up is, by the way, have you seen my pictures and videos? Oh, no, I haven't. Okay, so, but you want to submit an offer, you have no idea what the condition is? I suggest you go on FlippBidd and take a look at that, right? Because the last thing you guys want to do is you want to waste time and spin your wheels because you have more than enough data and information on FlippBidd to be able to vet an investor and say, did you hear my voice note? What do you think about the price? You saw the comps, you saw the ARVs. What other questions do you have? You saw the pictures and videos. Amazing. You got everything. Let's chat. Okay, so let's talk. What does that look like? Here we go. Another blue icon in the Chicago area. And as you grow out, everybody can view it and they can click on it and be able to connect with you. And there's some investors out there. We are starting to expand out there. And that's it. But if you ever go back and you want to edit that property, you can do so through your My Profile. Again, you go to My Uploads. You can go to your property, click the menu button. That's the three little dots. Click you can mark it under contract. If you do, everybody will get notified. And for those of you that probably have the application installed on your phones, you probably got notifications or you're getting notifications in real time as I'm uploading these properties, as I'm marking them under contract. And we're going to go ahead and delete it because I don't want to get in trouble. So we'll get it off our system and the property is deleted. By the way, just to let you guys know, the application will automatically delete properties after 90 days. We look at it like this. If it's a decent deal, it's a pretty good deal, and you haven't been able to dispose of it in 90 days, well, there's something wrong. Maybe you need to work on your pricing. Maybe you need to go ahead and, whatever the case is, maybe you haven't found a buyer. You can always re-upload it. But the reason why we do that is because we don't want to bog down the system and we don't want to leave stale deals for everyone to view, which actually helps both the buy and sell side, believe it or not. And if you mark it under contract, it automatically deletes out of our system in 30 days. So we're assuming that's about average of what it takes for a closing to happen. With that said, that was a very, very high level acquisitions, dispositions, property research, and data. When you do open the application, it's going to be a blank United States of America and map. But as you scroll in, so don't get scared. Be like, where are all my deals? We're working on maps and we're working on map controls that are being rolled out, which might be a great segue. We'll take a break and let Dave speak, but we're adding map controls to our new version that's rolling out in September. But Dave, with that said, any questions from your side? Do you want to take some questions from your group before we get into the additional stuff?
Hey, Ken, if
Yeah,
you
I
don't mind,
see.
I'm gonna jump in real quick because there was two questions that have been lingering. One is kind of an acquisition question, which is if you could talk a little bit more about the if you can talk more about the feature of skip tracing and how many skip traces can be done a month. And the other one is if you can just show again from the acquisition side, how you would find a property that's in the market and how you would take a look at that. There was somebody in the audience that wanted to see that again.
Yeah, so on acquisitions, all of these icons are clickable. So you could click on any one of these properties, get down to it, and find out who the seller is. We have a ton of deals in Florida. And then all you would do is click on view property. And then you won't see it on my end because it's our deal. But you'll be able to click on the chat and call button after viewing the property information, hearing our voice notes, and so on. That's acquisitions. If you were looking for a specific property that you had on your side, we may not have it on our system. However, this is again a segue into what we're building that's going to help you 10x your opportunities when you're searching for one deal. And I'll show you when we get into that. But that's acquisitions. It's literally just looking for properties with our map or switching from map view to list view within a 25-mile radius. So if you're, let's say, within a 25-mile radius, you scroll out and you go into here, no data found. It's not picking anything up. My apologies. But you can go to the list view and map view. You know what? Let me get out of here. That's probably why. So let's say if I go into New York, right? And well, let's go a little bit more detail. Let's go into my neck of the woods, Queens, right? Queens, New York. And then I'm in the middle of some properties here, and you go into list view. It's going to list 25 within a 25-mile radius of Queens, New York, all the properties that are available for sale. So you can go ahead and do acquisitions that way as well if you don't want to search markets. All you have to do is plop yourself on the map based where your location is. So again, if you wanted to go to Miami, for example, right, and you were searching in Miami, and it takes you to Miami, and here's all the properties, but then you go to list view, here's all the properties in Miami and within a 25-mile radius of Miami. And you can narrow down that search as much as you like based on your filters, based on the states, based on the city, the sale types, and so on. And all your filters are here with a minimum maximum price. And so that's acquisitions. However, we're going to show you what we're actually building for you guys and what we're rolling out in the next month and a half. It's right around the corner. Any other questions?
The skip tracing question as the question about how many skip traces can be done, and if you can go over that feature again, someone requested.
Sure, no problem. Does anybody have a property they would like to skip trace? We can use your own property. It's okay. We're not gonna put it up for sale, I promise.
You want to try that same property in Chicago, Illinois?
Sure, why not? I mean, let's try it. I mean, I think even Doug had another property, right? Doug,
yeah, that's right. That's right.
You want to use that one?
Sure. Let's do 6205 32nd Avenue in Kenosha.
6205
32nd
2nd Avenue.
Kenosha.
Okay, in Wisconsin. Okay. So once you find your deal that you want to skip trace, right? You just hit the request data, view property, right? once you visit a property, once you hit request data and view property, that view property prompts the application that you have officially visited a property virtually. Every time you visit a property, it shows up in my visits, which is when you go to my profile. And you guys want to trust me, listen to this, because we're actually making this even better and actually expanding on the my visit feature. In my visits, it'll show up on your list, and then you could check on that and hit the skip trace button. I'm not going to do that because we don't want to give away the secret sauce that Doug has been brewing and cooking up. So that's how you would be able to skip trace those properties, just by after you visit that particular property.
Ken, you want to go?
And you get, by the way, on the free version, right? Because we don't ask for a credit card, we don't ask for anything. You just simply download the application and play around with it. We'll give you 10 skip traces for free. You get 100 a month. And you're probably going to say, and Dave, we get this all the time, by the way, Dave. Why do you guys only offer 100 skip traces a month? Deal Machine offers us 15,000. So what I'll tell you is, if you're doing 15,000 skip traces a month, you are definitely a Deal Machine client, because then you can afford $400 or $500 for their, for their licenses, because you must have a huge operation. Dave knows to skip trace 15,000 a list of 15,000 properties is no small feat, because then you got to call them, you got to nurture those leads. So we created an application where it's on the fly, a property that came across your desk, you got texted something, an email, right? And you want to just test it out. We'll give you up to 100 on the $99 license, which, by the way, we even have a huge offer for you if you stick around. We're actually rolling that out at a significant discount now. I hope that answers that question. So you get 100 with the pro license.
Ken, there's another question that says, how do you compare FlippBidd to Investor Lift?
I don't. That's the answer. I don't compare to Investor Lift because I don't charge $36,000 a year. That's one. I also allow a community-based application for our community of users to connect directly and seamlessly without charging on the transaction. I also do not enforce in the lightest and easiest way to use certain title companies. I also provide direct real-time notifications when deals are populating from our community of users. So there's a lot of difference between Investor Lift, which, by the way, Robert has done an amazing job building an amazing company. I can't take that away from him. Its usability is absolutely phenomenal. We're just a different species of technology, right? It's like matching apples to oranges.
Right. The Investor Lift, referring to the 36,000, it's $3,000 a month in order to be able to do what some of the things that the app can do. And I know you're gonna touch upon some other neat features and some things that are coming out. I'm just one other question. Do you seem to have it seems like there's a big difference between the Android and Apple platform. He says, I'm missing a lot of features. I'm on Android. Is that in fact the case? I don't believe so, but could you address that?
Yeah, so your features are identical. Your map may look a little different. So the features, by the way, our application sits on Flutter, which is a Google technology, and that Flutter technology encoding was utilized to build both applications, so it should not be different. But I'm more than happy, and Phil is more than happy to take a support call after today's call, and we'll work you through it. Maybe we're just missing something, but we're more than happy to help you guide you through it. It should be exactly the same, minus the map.
Yeah, because right now I'm missing the skip tracing.
So when you click on your property on your My Profile and you go to My Visits, you don't have a skip trace feature?
We have to go to the visits. It's not just under the property itself.
Correct. So you have to skip trace it first, and then it'll show up in your My Visits.
Okay.
So by the way, guys, I know you'll laugh. It just comes with the industry. I have 2 Androids and I have 2 iPhones. 3 of them I throw away after some point before my fiance kills me. So I just keep the family and friends phone. So we're constantly testing this thing, literally on a daily basis, and our developers are as well. I assure you that if something major like that was missing, we definitely would have caught that. But it's probably just that you're not utilizing or accessing the feature the right way, but we can help you get through that. Anybody that have ever at any time has questions, we always leave an open line for you guys. When you go to my profile, it's the easiest way to get in touch with us. We'll contact you within a couple hours. Just go to support under your profile, and then you could join our weekly Zoom demos, which is an open Zoom. But here, where it says please leave detailed feedback, if you open that window up, type whatever you like and whatever the issue is, right? And then add your pictures and PDFs or whatever you like, send it out to us. We'll get it within seconds and we'll reply within a couple hours. That's right from your application.
Yeah, so Ken, I actually just want to always add, a feature that you always kind of leave out, and I happen to just mention, which is our
And my deal.
Find My Deal feature. That's right.
So guys, going back to Dave's honorable mention, how do we address the buy box issue right now? As I mentioned, that we do need to go ahead and get you guys set up as a verified investor license first. But when you go and set up your verified investor license under your My Profile and you are active, you get this little icon here that's activated, which is exactly what Dave mentioned, which is the buy box feature. You can go ahead and click on that and basically let everyone know what you're looking for. Single family, multifamily, mixed use, commercial land, other development, node, SFR, MFR, condo, mobile, right? And so whatever you're looking for, it should be here under one of these categories. And what kind of sale types you're looking for: contract, assignments, notes, REOs, short sales, straight deals, subject to wholesale. This list will get bigger as we create a bigger market for that sale type. If you're looking for a subject to deal, you can let everyone know what price point you're looking at and what spread in which state. And once we go ahead and click on that, let's say I'm looking for Arizona and hit the send request button, like everyone's going to get notified. Like, I'm looking for a property in Arizona, right? We do flag this. So if you guys start utilizing this, I mean, I'm assuming that everyone will be a grown up and use this accordingly. But if we find you're clicking on Find My Deal 50 times an hour and there's just notifications flying around, we will shut you down. Just letting you guys know that. So, with great power comes great responsibility. That's what I could say.
Ken, we've got another question. If they're not referred by someone, how can they apply for a new user? How can a new user apply for a verified license?
So you don't have to be referred by anybody. You could always say you were referred by Dave DeVito, right? Because you were on Dave's webinar, and that's okay. We just want to know who's referring clients to us. And I think that the fact that you're asking this question on Dave's webinar, I think he should get the honorable mention.
Right.
And lastly, we're almost 20 minutes after the hour. Do you want to share the goodies that are coming up?
All right, let's share the goodie, guys. I'm going to go ahead and hide this barcode. If you haven't been able to download the application by now, I'm just letting you know we're offering a lifetime license for $49 a month, and we're only giving away 500 licenses. I wanted to mention this to Dave earlier. We're down to what, Phil, like 410, 415, and we just started 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 415.
Something like that. So I'm just letting you guys know, we're not going to do this again. We're doing this at our cost. We're not making any money on this. We just want to help our community and get it bigger and better and faster. So if you are interested after this To get that $49 a month license, contact Dave, connect with Dave or Patrick. Patrick or Dave will send you their URL link, and they will go ahead and send you that link to sign up for $49 lifetime license. As long as you don't cancel your contract or cancel your account, you are good indefinitely. So now, with that said, let's end this show with a bang. As you know, we're a software company. We are not stagnant by any means. We've made, major strides over the years. What's coming up? Here we go, Dave. You're going to be excited about this. I hope your listeners are too. So these are some of our screens we're building out. First things first, we are creating map filters. You'll be able to search every property, every investor available, city by city, state by state, and everything that's available on there. Here is Orion. Orion, you could probably tell if anybody's an astronomer or studies astronomy. Orion has the 3 belts. Those are our 3 buckets for acquisitions, dispositions, and property research and data. We are working on the Orion Assistant as we speak. This is a polygon search. If those didn't impress you enough, our polygon search will allow you to create a polygon up to 3 miles in your respective market. Stretch it out because these points are what's the word? Malleable? Is that the right word? They are you can actually you can form them any which way you like, but with that polygon search, once you click the polygon search, it'll yield you all distressed properties, whether they're notice of default, list pendants, pre-foreclosures, tax delinquencies, and so on. And we are working more about for more subcategories with our data partners, all the way down to probate, divorce leads, and even sheriff deals, right? And there's a ton more from where that's coming from. So once you use that polygon search, yield you distressed properties up to a 3-mile radius. Okay, if that wasn't good enough, now when you go ahead and search a property, looks a little different now. Orion's gonna kick in and it's gonna ask you, hey Dave, what would you like to do today? Would you like to do acquisitions, dispositions, or property research and data? So if you say yes, I would like acquisitions, would you like to see other motivated sellers and distressed properties in the area? It'll outline, and by the way, great mention. We just partnered up with Lead Zolo. They have a whole back-end system that provides you leads in your respective markets where sellers are literally saying, make a deal with me, please. They have the phone numbers, they have the email addresses. The sellers are ready to make a deal. That deal is up to you, whether it's $100,000 or $1 million. You negotiate with them, but they're ready to sell. And we will outline that. How do we do that? We will 10x your result. Just because you searched for 27 Oak Hill Middletown Road, but you clicked on, I'm also looking for motivated sellers. Orion will outline a 3-mile radius and pull all those leads for you that are available in that market without even you finding them. It'll find it for you. If you click on distressed properties, it'll find all distressed properties in the 3-mile radius. So what do you do? Essentially, that FlippBidd one-touch feature, you search for one property, you got 10 yielded results. And you can do that over and over and over again. So a lot of distressed properties, polygon search filter coming out, map controls coming out to make it easier for you to navigate and find everything in every state available. And of course, Orion's going to be there to guide you all the way through. It's going to get bigger, better, and faster. Now, if you think that we're crazy to give you this, all of this for $49, we're literally making no money. It's more important for us to grow our community of users rather than create revenue, because the revenue will come, right? Because the power in this application comes from you guys, comes from Dave's listeners and all you guys that are out there doing acquisitions, dispositions. So like we started in the very beginning, we built this for you guys. We built it so we can assist you and give you practical tools that you need in today's day. And I believe we did that, and we're not stopping here. So with that said, Dave, I appreciate you letting me share that little tidbit with your group. I'll hand it over to you. Thank you so much, guys.
No, I thought that last feature is amazing. I mean, that basically just saves hours upon hours of scraping public record and everything. I mean, that's such a time saver. Time is money, as I like to say.
Oh,
So that's a
absolutely.
great automated feature.
Absolutely. And I didn't even finish. So your My Visits that we were talking about, you'll still have your My Visits, right?
Yeah.
All the properties you visited, but then you'll have a tab called Distressed Properties where you can skip trace all the data, phone numbers, and emails because you visited all those properties and you transferred them over into your My Visits. So now you could skip trace all them and you'll have all the phone numbers and emails and call the people that are in distress to create opportunities for yourself. That's what I missed.
Well, that's great stuff. Thank you, Ken. I mean, this is really, really impressive. And this is just the phase one. I mean, I'm excited to see how you guys grow this. Any other questions from the audience? I want to kind of give that last opportunity. Anyone have any more questions based on seeing this? Oh,
Don't be
great.
shy, guys. You love it.
Don't
You
be
hate
shy.
it. I'll check it
Yeah.
out. Thanks for the webinar. Anything. We'll take it.
Absolutely. And,
Can I add
Phil
a little
posted
quick feedback?
Absolutely.
The one picture at a time is a bit tedious. It'd be nice to be able to select, a couple photos at a time to upload them.
Yes, correct. So the idea behind that is it's supposed to be tedious, but you can, when does it end, right? Do we allow you five pictures, 10 pictures? But that's kind of we built in the Google Drive. So you don't have to upload any pictures. You can upload one main picture and attach a Google Drive for every single picture. It could be 100 of them, right? So that's really the idea behind that.
So, which I just added a support ticket because when I click the Google Drive, it just goes to a blank screen.
Okay. We'll definitely take a look at that. So your Google Drive and you're on Android?
Yes.
Okay. You're absolutely right. So we're working on that. There is an issue with Android connecting to Google, which is weird because they work on Google technology. That should be fixed very soon. You're actually the second person, Doug, that mentioned that. We are working on that right now.
Because it always would be nice to be able to just type it in instead of having to have it automatically.
No, you're absolutely right. So that's one of the things we're working on. So instead of just connecting to a folder, we're also adding a copy and paste link feature.
Yeah. Also another thought for you guys. So I do a lot of properties that I use software called Room, which is a 3D tour software. So maybe another line if you want to include like a virtual tour.
Yeah. So first and foremost, we couldn't you could actually upload that file to your Google Drive and share that file. We can't add Room without getting their licensing permissions and to use their name. But yes, and I'm very familiar with Room. I actually have the tripod and the rotating piece. I bought this many years ago when I was testing it out. But that's a great suggestion. But
I use the Ricoh 360 camera now, where it's got the two lenses, a lot faster, a lot better. But even just because I know there's other platforms, if you have one line that just says a link to that 3D tour.
I appreciate that feedback. We'll take a note. Phil, you could take a note of that. I mean, there's so many things we need to add to this. I mean, obviously that's very important to be able to show videos. So again, just keep in mind, Doug, we launched 2 months ago. I think we
I know, I'm just
major strides.
I didn't know if that was something you guys talked about, so that's why
we did speak about that. We're actually building virtual tours for our sellers, which is even better than what you're presenting. But that's a great suggestion. Wait till that comes out. It's going to blow your mind. Okay.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Ken and Phil and everyone for joining. Everyone in the group, Phil posted, the link for the special deal. Copy and paste that link and feel free to reach out to me or, Patrick put his number in there as well. It's just the tip of the iceberg. I think even this phase one is really impressive. So thanks, Ken and Phil, and congratulations on your achievement.
Thank you so much, Dave. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us. We had an amazing time. Thank you.
Thank you.